Hey guys, Oni here with episode 35 of our Dytech Factorio Let's Play, Season 3. Alright. Okay, so, we got a bit of a problem. Basically, last time, when I finished the episode, I do what I always do, and I finish recording, and then I save the game, and then I kind of make sure, before I quit it, I kind of walk around and make sure everything's fine, and if I need to, I'll save again, but then I'll just, either pack it up or start recording the next episode. What happened was that I saved it, came over to the bottom, southwest corner of my base, and I noticed that I was getting attacked by a fairly large wave of biters. And it wasn't any ordinary wave. What happened was, and I'll superimpose a video that I took, a little short video that I captured what was happening. Basically what was happening was that I was getting attacked in such a way that the biters that were shooting at me, like the spitters here, they were within range to shoot me, but they were also in range of the spawn points, the spawners, to where they could rally the biters as they spawned. Like, because sometimes when you aggro one, you aggro a bunch of them. You don't just aggro the one that you got close to. You aggro everybody, because he gets mad at you, and then he rallies all his friends. He rallies all his friends, and then he says, "Hey, let's go attack this guy." So then that's what was happening. So I was getting attacked, and then every time I got attacked, he would rally the new spawns, and because they were spawning every 5 seconds or so, it was like an infinite chain of just more and more biters. And I ended up dying, not because they broke through the wall, but because my turrets were firing for like 2.5 minutes straight, and my system couldn't keep up. I ran out of all my stored power, and then of course these guys started struggling, and then my liquid handlers ran out of power, so then I ran out of water, period, and then everything shut down, and then I died. So I tried to then reload the save and try to just attack the base, but then the same thing happened. I aggroed too many, and then those aggroed more and more and more. So that's not going to work. Now what I'm going to try to do is put a sort of band-aid, or at least help out the problem that is the fact that I didn't have enough power to keep up, or at least I didn't have a power source that could independently power my liquid handlers that were powering my main power source while I was going through a power emergency. And that's what I'm going to do today. I did some testing. Actually did a lot of testing, and I made 6 of these secondary Mark IV steam engines. These took a long time to make. They take a lot of materials, and they're pretty good. Each one makes 3.8 megawatts. But I mean, it's not really a lot. It is a lot, but you'll notice that when I get when a huge wave attacks me, like right now, the power usage of my turret spikes up to like 60 or 70 megawatts if a lot of them are in use. So this is only like 20 or 30, like 23 or 22 point something megawatts worth of power in these 6. But the thing is, I'm going to set it up in such a way that that's a constant supply of extra power that's not fully dependent on a liquid handler, and I'll show you. So, what I'm going to do, and I already set this up, this requester chest, and basically, we are going to have the requester chest that's going to supply with solid fuel, which I already set up earlier as well. I'm using heavy oil to make solid fuel. I made a bunch of boilers. I'm not going to need them all, but I made a bunch during my testing, which I probably should have used a test world, but oh well. So, we're going to use a regular offshore pump, because oops, let me actually do the conveyor belt setup first. So let me do some inserters for the boilers. Whoops. All right, and then we do the offshore pump into a liquid handler. So I'm going to make 40 clean water, the slower of the 2 recipes for the bulk water. And then we're going to use our boilers. So now, normally, if you're setting up the max efficiency setup for a chain of steam engines, you would use 14 boilers and 10 steam engines to 1 pump. So, but we're not doing that. We're not going directly from our boilers into our steam engines. If we were, we wouldn't have to worry about whether or not the water would be hot enough, because the steam engine will throttle its water usage depending on how much power you need right then. So it does all the handling, handling of the water for you. But because we're storing the water, the tanks are going to just take whatever we can throw at them. So, and also depending on how much pressure's in the line, and a couple other factors. But for the most part, you're going to be able to throw a lot more water into a tank than you are a steam engine, when you're not at peak usage. So, with that being said, you can run into problems like the water going through the boilers too fast and not getting to the tank at 100 degrees. But the way that liquids work in Dytech or in Factorio, and I'll show another little video here that I took, is that if you put 2 tanks connected with only boilers, eventually those two tanks will equalize and be at 100 degrees because the water will flow back and forth again and again and again and again and again. And every time it flows back and forth, it goes to the boilers again. So you can sort of use that to your advantage if you want to make sure that the water in your tanks is going to be at 100 degrees. So let me just set it up and show you. So we're going to use 14 boilers because that's like normal. I like the number. So 14. All right. We need some more of these guys. So we're going to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Actually, that's the wrong spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. One more. 14. All right. So let's hook up the conveyor belts again. Actually, I probably could have put it there, can I? I could have put it up there. Oh well. No big deal. Alright, let's also hook up the power for our inserter so we can get this guy going as far as putting fuel on the line. Want to get him going? Okay. Set up the rest of our inserters. Okay. So, let me also use the fuel I have on me to just sort of get this going. Alright, so if you look at the boilers right now, you'll see that they're slowly creeping up, or pretty fast actually, up to 100 degrees. Now, it's at 100 degrees here, and that 100 degrees you'll see like propagate down the line back to the first boiler. So now it's all at 100 degrees. But if you notice, if I put down a storage tank right here, it'll suck up all the water, and you'll see the temperature starts dropping. It's because it's pulling out the water so fast out of this network right here, this little network of piping, quote unquote, and you know, it doesn't give it enough time to heat up to 100 degrees. But you'll see that it still is at 100 degrees at the very last boiler, which is good. So, and what's happening now is the water, even though I have this liquid handler here, most likely due to the fact that because there's a gap, if you look, there's a gap in between each, you know, every time there's like a little time period, a little section of time when there's nothing getting pushed upwards through this section here, or through this series of boilers. You know, in between each craft, the water has a chance to come back out and then pushed back up and then back out and then pushed back up. So that means that the water in the tank will then be pushed back out a little bit, heated up again, even more, and then back into the tank. So this should also, and you see that the temperature is creeping up slowly to 100 degrees. Now, this may not be totally 100% true to physics in real life, but it's Factorio. Who cares? So if I put another one down, it should hold true again because it doesn't. They're both the same type of tank. So yeah, and the water will never get cooler in the tank. It'll stay at 100 degrees. You can only go up as far as tanks go. You can go down like we saw before if you are pulling cold water into it, because then it'll lower the temperature that way. But if you just leave a tank alone with hot water, it won't cool down over time. It'll only cool down if you do something to it, like push cold water into a tank full of hot water. So, I made 8 of these Mark III, I think it's what they are. Yeah, Mark III storage tanks. Each one can hold 10,000 units of liquid. So we're gonna have 80,000 total units of hot water. And so we're gonna set that up now. We're gonna do something like this. Oops. Alright. And if I really wanted to get fancy, I could put pumps in between each one of these guys, so I could further control the flow of the water as it gets, you know, equalized through these tanks. Because right now what it's doing is it's trying to evenly distribute the water throughout all the tanks. But if I wanted to, I could put pumps and say a pump here, at each connection, to where the water would, like, for example, flow, you know, in like a zigzag sort of pattern, or like an up and down pattern until it gets to this tank. So this tank fills up first, then this one, then this one, then this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. All right, so you see that this temperature dropped down to 99, but that's okay because over time, the water should be sloshing back and forth enough to where it'll slosh back out into the boilers, which just follow. That's how it works. Just don't question it. If I'm wrong, let me know. But if what I mean by that is I'm saying, like, when I realize that, I'm like, wait a minute, So if only a little, like if I have a tank full of 10,000 gallons of water and I take a cup out, like a cup of water out, heat it up and put it back in, it'll raise temperature of all of the water by the same amount. But I'm like, whatever, it's Factorio, just deal with it. All right, so yeah, so now it's back up to 100, so we should be good. And even more so when we hook up the steam engines, because the steam engines will then themselves only take as much water as they need at the time. So we made 6 of these guys, and like I said, we'll make more eventually. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 6. All right. Now we're gonna start out with just a simple connection with a pipe like this. Now, in my testing, I put a pump here so I could make sure that none of the water is gonna slosh out of this guy. Like, see how it's trying to equalize again? It'll go in here and then back out, and then in here and then back out. So I put a pump here to force the water to stay in here once it's in here. But what that did was that introduced the situation where it's now pulling the water through the system faster, which will then propagate out to here and could potentially lead to sub 100 degree water getting into the storage area. So we'll see. If we need to do it, we can do it. We'll figure out a way. I could have just been doing it wrong, and it might work, but we're gonna see how it works with just a connection like this. These guys should pull water if they need it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hook this up now. I'm gonna do this. Oops. This and this. Okay, and hook up to the rest of the network like this. Actually, just use a whatever. We use a big pole. Kind of wasting the length here, but it looks a little better, I guess. So that's in the network now. It's not going because there's no need for it, because my current primary steam engines are more than enough to handle the current load. But once the primary engines can't handle it, you know, if I run out of stored power, then these guys will kick in, start helping out. And again, these guys will not run out or stop working just because this liquid handler stopped working. They'll only stop working when all 8 of these tanks are empty of water. So we have tons of stored. We really have tons of stored power in the form of water here. So, yeah, pretty good. And if we want to, we can even do something like this, where we further make sure that this liquid handler will not stop working in the event of a power outage by taking a substation. I have one right here. There we go. And putting it down right here. Yeah, put it right there, right? And we're going to disconnect this guy from this line by holding up shift and left clicking on it, because I want full control of what this connects to. So we're going to put down a couple accumulators for an example. Like that, just as an example. And then we're going to hook this guy up to only these guys. Only these guys. So to do that, I want to take a large power pole, because if I can't reach the outer edge of this guy with a small one. Or a medium one, I don't think. Let me see, a medium one. No, got to be a large. So again, this is going to connect to the rest of the guys, which will start charging this guy. I don't want to do that. So, there you go. And I immediately hit shift and left click to disconnect it. So I only want this guy to connect to this. I don't want him connected to the rest of the network on this side. So we're going to take a copper cable, left click, manually connect, and then we're going to put another power pole on this side. Actually, like right here. We're going to disconnect it, shift click, but then we're going to hook it back up to only this guy. Only this guy. So take a copper cable again, click it, and this one little guy here is now powering, because even though it's secondary, he's technically the only engine available that can do this. So he's taking charge of his life, you know, and saying, I could do that. And he's charging these guys up. And because he's a Mark IV engine, these are only like Mark I accumulators, they charge up pretty fast. But the point of these accumulators is to hook these guys up here with another large power pole. Disconnect it right there. And then hook it up again to this guy only. Take some power poles, hook this guy up to here, disconnect him, and then hook him up this way to that power pole. Oh, it's going to be just out of range. It's going to kind of ugly. But so what this will do is that if for some reason the network or the mains power supply fails and this guy kicks in, technically, this guy was also relying on the main power network for power. But now he's also has a backup of accumulators. So if I were to just disconnect this guy right here, now they're going because they're powering this guy. Now, granted, not a lot of work to do because he doesn't use that much power, but nonetheless, he's now being solely powered by the accumulators. And I can show you even more if I hook up. Let's see, can I do this without? Let's just do this. Break this guy and hook him up like this. Now these guys should be only using. Oh no, they're using the. Sorry, my bad. They're using the secondary engine, which is kind of what's meant to happen. They're using the backup source of power, but I don't want them to connect. I'd prefer if the only thing powering this guy would be the accumulators, if you know what I mean. I guess there's not really an easy way to do that. I need another set of connections somewhere. Because as long as he connects to both of these guys, this guy will power it. Yeah, so. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's supposed to happen. So, in the event of a power outage, if these guys also fail to adequately supply power in the event of an outage to this liquid handler, then I guess the third layer of failover will kick in, which will be these accumulators, which will then further power this liquid handler until it runs out. So let's go ahead and disconnect this guy. Shift click this guy. Hook him up to this guy over here. There we go. Okay, so that's done. We can now add some more accumulators if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and ask for some. Let's replace our request for pipes. Let's request some accumulators. Not 100, but too late. I already asked for them. They're going to bring it to me anyway. Oh well. Oh, I also need to go over here real quick. So I'm already going to be there. Let me tone this down to 25. I mean, they're probably already on the way with a bunch of it. So I need to put some more alien artifacts. I thought I already did. I did not. Because I'm researching power armor 2, and I need to make sure this guy has enough alien artifacts to do it. And like I said before, I'm not putting... Oops, not putting all these in here. It's just enough to where it can do what it needs to do. Oh, whoops. I'll give you like 20 or so. Okay. Alright. So we got our extra accumulators now. We should at least. Oh, that's nice. I guess that was out of the network for like a split second or so. So they gave up. And that's when I changed it over to 25. So I should still be in the network though when I get over here. Because there should be a pretty large roboport somewhere around here. And there is. Sweet. Alright. Let's go ahead and hook up this. I mean, this is total overkill, I think. I mean, it might not be for what I'm trying to do here, but it's better safe than sorry, right? So I am sacrificing this precious stone to do this. Oops. Only one at a time? There we go. I thought, jeez. Alright. This guy should be going to full power now. There's plenty of available performance, plenty of real performance, so the water situation is doing alright. And another reason why we may eventually end up doing the pump thing is because this guy will drain out a lot faster than the rest of these guys. So this guy will be at like 1 or, you know, a couple hundred water, while these guys will be at like in the thousands still. That shouldn't be a problem, I don't think, but if it is, we can always do the pump thing. Alright. So, now that we have this emergency power source, which is currently trying to power up all these accumulators, do I want to hook up another one of these engines to this guy so he charges up faster? Oh, of course. Can you guys get a little closer, please? You guys are like totally cheating. Let me poison you too. Give you the double whammy. Stack that poison. More capsules over there. This is kind of a waste of... I mean, not really a waste of capsules, but I don't like using them for this, but I have to sometimes. I really need to set up a blueprint that'll make a automatic sniper turret that requests more ammo. But then that would require that I automate sniper turrets, which are pretty... Not too hard to make, but they are kind of expensive. Like, look at it here. Maybe not, actually. No, I thought that was a little more expensive than that. I think the expensive part comes in large amounts of ammo. So, yeah, not that expensive. I could probably do that. These guys should die before my robots die. Help them out a little bit. Okay, so what were we doing episodes ago? Only one episode ago. Yeah, what were we doing before we were really interrupted by these biters? Well, I think like two episodes ago, the plan was to start doing that supplementary iron bus. So let's try to get back on track with that. Hopefully we don't get too complacent, or hopefully we don't get overrun or anything like that by biters. How am I doing on these? You guys doing fine. All right. And you're doing what? You're waiting for red circuits? And I know I'm doing it manually. I just don't want them to make too many of them. So, which I can limit that with the output of a. Yeah. What am I saying? I can do that. I can just limit it with the output from a smart inserter. So where'd it go? Where'd that chest go I just made? There it is. We'll do. Let's put it in the middle so it's nice and. Looks nice at least. Nope, that's not what chest I wanted. I wanted a requester chest. Let's keep that smart inserter. We'll say you request red circuits, 220 or so. And then you can insert them with some fast inserters. Not that it matters, because, I mean, actually, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of slow. So, use regular inserters because they have the stack size bonus. Yeah, there we go. And then we can use we can change this to a passive provider chest, which is actually what I meant to do. So there we go. And then put a smart inserter here and say you can only grab, what is it? Distractor capsules when there's less than 50 in the network. So that means you actually should, let me take all these then. There we go. All right. So we are currently waiting on the power armor 2. That's going to be great because we can put more of those legs on ourselves, those exoskeletons. And I also, off camera, I noticed that a couple things. One, only really one thing. Basically that I had to move my miners because they already mined out this area. They mine pretty fast, and I'm a little worried about how long this copper field is going to last. But, I mean, for now, it's doing its job. And it's mostly due to the fact that I'm using a lot of the copper just to store up. I already have 115,000 copper. I want more than that. I don't want to. That still seems kind of low when you look at how much you use copper towards later on in the game. So I'm planning on expanding this. But first, let's do the iron. Let's reduce this guy down to back to 100 because I had him at 600 because when I was panicked and trying to get enough of because like those Mark IV steam engines, those take a lot of those stone gears. So I ended up putting this guy down here randomly. I was like, just where's stone at? Stone's here. Just put it here. And yeah. So let's get rid of this. And let's see. I don't need any of these guys anymore. I don't need. I really don't need these guys. I don't think. I'll keep those speed modules on myself. I'll actually make this 10 instead. I got rid of something over here before to make room for the other thing I made. So that's so vague. I know. You're like, what the hell did you just say? Let's also. Oh, see, that was pipe. I got rid of the request for pipe. Let's request 50 pipe at least. It's always nice to have some pipe. And we'll put the rest of the pipe in this chest over here. It's not a requester chest, a storage chest. You are a provider chest. You are a storage chest. You storage. Any room in any storage chests, please? Thank you. Yeah, I'll get rid of that too. Get rid of that. Get rid of these regular items. Don't need this, or how much stone am I asking? I'm only asking for 100 stone, so I don't need all this stone. What is fuel? Doing a little bit of spring cleaning on my inventory. I'll keep that on me in case I need this. Get rid of the bodies, though. Also, what are you doing in here? The rest can stay. All right, so we're gonna get started. I mean, we don't have a lot of time left, but look at my stopwatch. Come on, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and at least lay the groundwork for what we're doing. And it's also, I'm not sure what I want to do about this. Another thing I noticed, and we're always getting off track, but what I noticed is that if I take one of these silver laser turrets, right, put him down, you see that he does 3.6 damage with a shooting speed of 2. Now, I think that's 2 per second. Yeah, I think it's 2 per second. I have to double check. But this guy is 5 plus 3, but shooting speed of 3. So he does 9.6. He does 8. but he does an extra attack in the same amount of time. So either the silver turrets are crappier than the regular ones, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, the drain is 6.0 kilowatts. This guy's drain is 25. But this guy uses 600. Okay, this guy uses 600 per shot. This guy uses 129. So this guy looks like he uses more per shot, if that's what that means. I'll double check. So yeah, pending my research, I think that's what it means. So we already made the furnaces for this setup. We originally wanted to put in this area here, but that kind of got overtaken by the module factory, which we also need to finish this real quick. Mark 3 modules. We'll give you some speed modules too to speed yourself up a little bit. So you should have everything you need though, right? Yeah, you do. Sweet. And you have, okay, so now I just need to put a passive provider chest here and a smart inserter so you don't, grab infinity of them. We'll put down this guy and say you can only grab level 3 efficiency modules and just less than 50. Give you some power. You'll be rocking and rolling. All right. And now, we're just in time for the power armor, too. Literally, the power armor as well, and number 2. Okay, so, where are we going to put this then? We're going to put this, we can probably knock down this wall over here. So, knock this wall down. Will that make anybody cry about power? Shouldn't. Shouldn't do, no, it shouldn't. So let's break all this. Let's see what that does. That shouldn't cause any problems. This guy is connected to here, which is here to here to here. So he should be fine. Yeah, he should be fine. We're good. So I'm just worried about maybe there's like a single point of failure somewhere that I just broke. So I double check real quick. There we go. We're good. Also clear out. We can also probably clear out this guy. Yeah, we can clear out all this. This is not necessary anymore. Yeah. Clear this out. For right now, just the turrets. I'll look at the power poles in a second. Okay, let's get rid of this guy too. All right, making room. I like it. I like it. We can get rid of. I'll leave this guy here for some light. It's kind of silly, but yeah. Unless I actually need that room specifically, I won't worry about it. We can also get rid of this group here. And I know we're probably not going to get to the iron, guys. We'll do that next time. But we're making room for it, though. Get rid of all this stuff. Now, that might make somebody cry. If I break this on myself, who starts crying? Nope, you guys... Okay, you're good, because you're connected to this guy, which is looped around over here, which is... Yeah, you're fine. But this guy's... I'm not sure why this guy's even there. So, let's get rid of that. Get rid of these walls here as well. I'll leave these turrets here because they kind of help in case anything attacks this wall right here. Let's also put a light down. I don't have one on me. Let's make a light. I always like to put lights next to my robo ports. There we go. Of course. Alright. So it may be worth it to look into possibly replacing a bunch of my turrets with the silver guys because they use less power. But we'll see. Alright. I can get rid of this guy too, right? Yeah, he's not really necessary. But that might, yeah, that's gonna make this guy cry. Unless he loops around the entire base. Nope, he's not connected. Because you see, the second I did that, unless it's coincidence, yeah, he's solely reliant on these accumulators. So I need to fix that. So let's go ahead and take some large power poles. Make some more. Let's connect this guy up to the rest of our network. That's legit. Now you should be on the network. There we go. You're good. Again, we need some more lights because it's so dark over here. Okay. I don't want to think you guys can't see anything. So put a light here and a light here. Just make it a little better, a little more lively. We can get rid of this guy. Really, the only reason this guy over here, only reason these guys are here is for lights. So sometimes it's necessary, sometimes I don't think it's necessary. So put this guy down here. Lights, and yeah. So we have all this room now for this iron factory. Or iron bus. And yeah, we're going to put it, we're going to have the iron coming over here, probably down and over into the smelting area. Or something of that effect. Something to that effect. But yeah, we are out of time. Sorry, I mean, I wasn't stalling. I don't want you guys think I was stalling. It's just that I wanted to make room for it. So, yeah, next time we'll do the iron. So, yeah, My name's Oni. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.